Welcome to Richmond Rising. I'm your host, Josh Imhoff for the City of Richmond, and I'm joined today with Denise Retz, the Park Superintendent for Richmond. Welcome, Denise.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We're here at your beautiful Glenn Miller Golf Course clubhouse.
Yes.
I love it. Could you talk a little bit about the golf course and tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. So Glenn Miller Golf Course, I'm sure many will remember. We used to have a former golf course here. Now it is home to First Tee, which is an amazing program. It has a lot of options for characteristic values and learning the game of golf. So really this has turned into not only a walking path, an opportunity for our community to come whenever they would like to walk and get healthy, but also it's kind of a training facility. So people can come and they can hit balls. We have 6 greens here, and we continue to try to make sure that there's a good solid impact on these greens and that we're constantly taking care of them as much as possible. But this used to be a great golf course, and we wish we could continue to maintain it. We do as much as we can here, and we love the First Tee program. It does a great job. They serve about 100 kids a year from June until August. Age ranges vary. Right now you can actually register. So if you've ever thought about getting your child, interested in the game of golf, this would kind of be your start, and they can learn kind of the ins and outs about golf, and lots of people help them with that, and also really kind of understand the code of conduct of golf and the morals and values of it as well. So it's a really great program.
Yeah, wow, that's great. I think that just goes to show you how special Glenn Miller Park is. Mm-hmm. Like, it has a little bit of everything. You've got the golf course, yes, and tennis facilities, yes, traditional playground, there's nature areas. Can you talk a little bit about this park?
Absolutely. It's 184 acres. It's our largest park. We really call this a flagship park, anchor park. We have a couple flagship parks, but I would say Glenn Miller is really our flagship park, and one that people know most about. So when you say, have you ever been to one of our parks? Most people say, well, Glenn Miller is your only park, right? No, we have about 23 other properties we maintain, 1,100 acres, but Glenn Miller is most known. We have over 4 enclosed facilities here that we rent on a regular basis, with this being one of them. It's fairly cheap to rent, and we have a weekly rental as well as a weekend rental option.
So how would someone go about doing that, renting?
They can actually rent online now, very simple, from their mobile device or from the comfort of their home, or they can simply just call in to 983 Park, 765-983 Park. It's fairly easy. They can guide them through that, or they can come to the window at the park office here in Glenn Miller Park. Our office is also located here by the playground, across from the pond, fairly easy to get to, 2200 National Road East. So we're here to serve you 8 to 5 every day, Monday through Friday. So we can help anyone who needs that. But our rentals are definitely booked way out in advance. So I would encourage anyone to check those dates online if they can, or just call in and we'll try to get you accommodated. If we cannot serve you here at Glenn Miller, we have a lot of other shelters and a lot of other enclosed facilities where we can try to accommodate you at different parks. We also have 10 shelters that you can rent here in Glenn Miller, and you can accommodate any parties as well. A lot of people have their fundraisers here. A lot of organizations like to have runs right here at Glenn Miller Golf Course, which is fun. And we try to help anybody who needs to utilize our facilities anywhere in our 1,100 acres. So yeah, so Glenn Miller is a shining star, and we were just able to finish up our wood weekend where we cut down another 100 trees right here in this park.
Oh wow.
And we worked with our street department to do that. We were able to clear the pond this year, which was a really big project that we've been working on for quite some time. And clearing those invasive trees around the pond is really something that we've been wanting to do. A lot of people wonder why we cut down trees, and they just see trees falling down, and they want to know why. And there's only a couple reasons why we cut down trees. One, they're either invasive, or two, they're dead. So, that's the only reasons why parks cut down trees. And we usually take those high priority trees as the first option. And this year we were able to just really concentrate on the pond and get the tree of heaven out of there, which is an invasive tree, and some of that honeysuckle out. And so you can really see the pond more. So come to Glen Miller, check it out, drive around the pond. We have a lot of people who eat their lunch here, and we just wanted the pond to be more inviting and for them to be able to see it a little bit better. And I really think they can now.
That's great.
Yeah. The street department does a lot that helps us out with our trees. They have a great tree crew. Works along our park tree crew and our park maintenance department. And we work really hard to make sure that we get those trees down during our wood weekend. So taking down another 100 trees and getting those cleaned up as fast as we did. We want to thank the community, obviously, for coming and getting that wood. We supply that wood down for free anytime that they want to come and get it, but it helps us too. So we know it helps them if they burn wood, but it helps us for them to get it. So I think it's a win-win situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
great. Another park, I know that another large park that we have here in Richmond is the Gorge, and there's a lot going on there with the Sargenet building, and the Veterans Memorial is there.
Yes.
And there's walking trails and just bicycling trails and all kinds of stuff going on there.
Yeah, the Gorge has really been kind of that the talk of the town lately, and that's because we were able to receive a grant from the IDNR through the Land and Water Conservation Fund. That was a $500,000 grant, and that grant was matched by the Redevelopment Commission for another $500,000. So the community will start to see some progress in the Gorge, which that makes it the talk of the town. We are going forward in the Gorge, and there's lots of things that are happening. People just saw, obviously, recently where we were able to winterize the facility so we could have our market there year round, right? And for the winter months. And we're one of, a few that have a market year round in the state of Indiana, which is amazing.
And that's such a gorgeous place that you can also rent out. I've been to weddings there and different fundraisers there.
Absolutely.
And it's a great building we can use year round.
Yes,
now.
It's just a blank canvas. And so when we were able to winterize that, you saw that improvement come, and then now the Walk of Fame has been restored finally. And so that was just a huge relief, because all of 29 medallions needed work. And trying to figure out how we were going to be able to make that happen was a huge undertaking. But the Sargenet Foundation really got behind it, championed this project, and found the funders. And I believe we had 111 patrons, donors that came along. And, we were able to work with Patronicity and do a fundraising campaign where we raised $56,000 and got matched $50,000. So we were able to work through the needs of the Walk of Fame. So if you haven't been down there, you haven't checked out the renovation to the Walk of Fame, they're now elevated and gorgeous. And so they've been restored to a new light where there is now epoxy behind all of the artwork. The artist came in from Omaha, Nebraska, who originally did every single one of those medallions, and they restored every single one of them. So we're very, very thankful for that. Smerelli did all the concrete work, and so they just did an amazing job. So they're going to last a lifetime, and I'm so thrilled about that. So that was another project that started and was also a part of this plan. So we started a plan called the Gorge Activation Plan, and this plan actually outlines a lot of what's going to go on in the Gorge. And this was a community-driven plan to try to activate what we want to see happen in the Gorge, and what we want to see is a part of a collaborative effort about what the community wants to see. With the Gorge being 164 acres of kind of linear park, I mean, there's a lot that goes into the Gorge, and it's kind of covers a lot of ground and a lot of different areas. We kind of broke it up into Gorge South District, Gorge Central District, and Gorge North District, and then defined what would make sense in each district, depending on what the community wanted to see. And some of those things that they wanted to see was water activation, nature activation, activity activation, including a lot of zip lining, an adventure kind of feeling, and some of that. So a lot of that came from this particular plan, and something that we're really trying to work through. So, we received $500,000 from the Land and Water Conservation Fund through the IDNR and the National Park Service. So it's a federal funded amount of money, and then we matched that with the Redevelopment Commission. They were kind enough to come on board. So $1 million will be invested in the gorge in the near future. And so we're working through all that planned. Right now we're in the stage of design and engineering, so it's happening. So a lot of people say, yeah, you say this stuff's gonna happen, but like, is it gonna happen? I mean, you asked me what I wanted to see, but I never saw fruition. Like, this stuff is happening. And that excites me even more that we're making these things happen. A couple things will happen in the phase one that you'll see, which is like an expansion of the Test Road trailhead, just to accommodate some of these additional amenities, some of the help with some of the erosion that's happening along the Gorge Trail. Since it is our oldest trail, you can see the wear on it. You can see the age. So we need to fix some of those things. Trail nodes will be installed so you can have rest points. Right now there's not a place where you can really sit and enjoy yourself, park your bike, have a trash can, things like that. A lot of wayfinding signage will be done. A lot of people come through and they come off the Cardinal Greenway into the gorge. A lot of people don't realize those are separate, but they're separate trails, and they come off the Cardinal Greenway, which is a privately funded trail, and come into our public trail, which is the Whitewater Gorge, and they connect to that, but they don't know where to go. So we need to give them information and guide them where to go, and vice versa. If they're coming from the Whitewater Gorge, coming south and heading north, we need to let them know where to go and how many miles they've biked and walked and things like that. So very exciting stuff, things happening, things progressing, design and engineering happening, so people can rest assured that the talk of the town, it's really happening. So exciting stuff about that. And the Weir Dam, that's part of this project, right? So a lot of people ask me, what's happening with the Weir Dam? You said it was coming out, but the dam's still there, Mm-hmm. And that's funny because, I would love for things to happen overnight. I'm like the most impatient person when it comes to projects. I've been working on this gorge project for quite some time. I would love for things to turn around quickly. And I'll tell you, that's the one thing about my job that tests my patience, is how long things take. But the Weir Dam is scheduled for August of 2023. The permitting's been done, but the water has to be at a certain level, and things all have to be right and checked off and all of that stuff. So that schedule is August of 2023, and people will know when that will be taken out. It'll be definitely cut in several locations and separated. There'll be certain things that we'll be working with Earlham College on for some research initiatives and a few other things. So it'll be exciting.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
And I know that dam, it's been there for almost a century now.
Mm-hmm.
It's for an old power plant that used to be in the area.
Correct.
And it's also very dangerous.
It is dangerous, yes.
So that kind of keeps people out of the water in that area.
That is why the funding, and a lot of people don't realize that we're not paying for this to be removed. This is actually a grant we received from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife. A lot of people think, well, our fishing is not going to get better, or there's going to be some recourse for this. The idea for this is safety. Our fishery is supposed to get actually better, and the DNR comes along as well through the LAIR grant to help with this. So this was no funding outside of the city. I mean, the city did not have to fund this at all. This was actually U.S. Fish and Wildlife and the IDNR who partnered together to help us with this effort. And it is because the low head dams are such an issue and such a safety concern, they want them all out. So while they used to be something of value back in, a while ago, they are a concern these days. And so it is a beautiful piece and to look at, and it's tranquil. And those are the positives, but we can't think to outweigh the concerns and the ecological benefits that will happen when we take it out. And the recreation enhancements it'll bring. People will be able to just take their canoe and their kayaks and everything right down the main path of the gorge when this is removed. And that's also a huge benefit.
That's exciting. I know last year or the year before you opened up Middle Fork Reservoir, started renting out boats, kayaks,
yes.
and I've seen people out there using them.
Yes,
so.
It's a very good point because people do love to be one with their water. It is, what they call blue mind. It's a different type of feeling that you receive when you're one with your water and you're on the water. It gives you a different type of feel. So we wanted to bring that to Middle Fork to really encourage people to get out on the water and experience Middle Fork for what it has to offer. We obviously were interested in the revenue generation that it would provide, and we actually this year, it's kind of exciting. We haven't announced yet, but we just bought more more paddle boats that are a little bit more commercial grade, I guess I would say. They'll be able to seat a family of 4 very comfortably. We had some issues with the paddle boats that we got before that we had to have weight limits and things like that. And so those will still be there for 2 people to go out in, but we'll have also paddle boats for rent for a family of 4 that they can feel good and secure to go back out in and things like that. So we'll have kayaks, canoes, paddle boats, and rowboats again this year. And we open up Middle Fork Reservoir on April 15th.
April 15th? That's really soon.
Yes, exciting. So if you haven't received your dock slip and you want to get a dock slip, we will have the early bird rate available until opening day, which is April 15th. And we have launches and we have annual launches that you can get. And so we have all of those options that you'll be able to see in our new rec guide that will be coming up soon. Our rec guide is full of fun and exciting things for what you can do at the Parks Department. It'll have our rental information I told you about earlier. It'll have stuff about all of our parks and all of our programs, including all of our summer information, our outdoor movies, and our JUCO program.
Because you guys, it's not just the parks that you take care of, but you also put on events in the parks, classes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, these outdoor movies are just great.
They are. They're wonderful. And so we have all of those things that'll be in that rec guide that people will be able to get and have. We'll have some that we'll pass out at all of our events, and then it'll actually go out in the Wednesday distributions as well. So we're getting all of those out, and so the community can have those and be able to plan their entire summer and then understand how to do all the reservations and things like that and how to contact the Parks Department anytime. So fun stuff.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. Also, I was going to tell you a little bit more about the trees, because I know you're
I'd love to hear more about that.
Interested in something like that. We just received a exciting designation I don't know if you were aware of. The Tree City USA designation.
That sounds like a good designation.
It is a very good designation. It is one that we haven't had since 2007, I believe. 2017, I believe. And basically the standards are you have to maintain a tree board or a tree department, which we have the Street Tree Commission. You have to have a tree ordinance that you have, and it's current. You have to spend $2 per capita on urban forestry, and you have to have an Arbor Day event. And so we turned in the application and we were selected, and so we are now again a Tree City USA. So very exciting. We've been really trying to work hard at making the trees a priority through the Parks Department, through the Street Department, and we're very excited that we were awarded this designation again and putting trees a priority.
Yeah, well, they definitely are.
Yeah.
So what's this Arbor Day event?
So we're going to have a great Arbor Day event at the Farmers Market, actually. And that's going to be April 29th. At 10 a.m. The mayor's going to do a proclamation, and we're going to give away some trees. We're going to have some fun activities at the market. So right down there at Star Jeanette, like we talked about before, we're going to have some fun things going on. So come to the market that day on the 29th and celebrate Arbor Day, and then also celebrate trees, right? So it's exciting stuff. Yeah, we've got that going on too. So there's never a dull moment in parks.
No, it doesn't seem that way.
Yeah. And then we were also, when we talk about trees and things like that, we were able to get a tree inventory grant through the IDNR just recently. So we were able to inventory some trees lately, and that grant was $22,670, and we've just completed that first initial tree inventory.
Now, why would you want to inventory your trees?
So you want to inventory your trees, and we partnered with the Street Tree Commission, and we did some trees for parks and streets because we want to determine which ones are safe, high priority trees, things like that. We want to know what our tree canopy looks like, things that we want to keep tabs on. And so the IDNR also feels strongly about that, and we want to continue to understand our trees and where we want to plant more, where we may not need as many, what the status of our trees are, the health, maybe the ones that might need pruned back, maybe replaced, things like that. So yeah, so our tree inventory went really well this first round. It was kind of a pilot to see how many we could do in a certain given time. So that was a really great opportunity that we had with the IDNR.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. One thing that I love about our parks is how varied and how many parks there are. You said there was 20-something parks. Mm-hmm. And one park that I really like is Bicentennial Park, like directing people there to see the cliffs of the gorge and the white limestone cliffs. I think it looks really cool, and it's kind of hidden there if you don't know it's there. Are there any sort of underappreciated or secret park attributes that you like? Or
yeah, I think when we talk about parks and we talk about the opportunities that are essential, I think that people sometimes misrepresent some of our neighborhood parks that are so essential. And West Side Lions Park over on Ridge Street and Star Park over on 13th Street, those are just wonderful locations and so Star Park over in the Star District, we just were able to put in a brand new playground over there for them, and it's utilized tremendously. The Rotary Club adopted that park and helped us put in a new shelter, and they come and they take care of it almost weekly and pick up trash. And I think that's one of those parks that people visit on a regular basis, and they aren't even necessarily in that neighborhood, but the neighborhood also utilizes it a ton. And West Side Lions, the same thing. It's over in the Fairview area, and just the Fairview, kids walk to it, and I think when we talk about parks should be walking distance in neighborhoods, and you should never have to have more than a 10-minute walk to a park. That's where your park should be. And so we think about that. That's on our mind, that if we need to decrease parks to make extra efforts for other parks, like our master plan calls for, we are very much thinking strategically to make sure that people still have parks 10-minute walking distance for them. So our playgrounds are definitely all certified, and not a lot of communities can say that. We put our families first here, and all 6 of our playgrounds are certified by Playground Certified Standards, and so we work really hard to keep that. And that's also another exciting example of what parks mean.
That's great.
Yeah.
You're right, that is so important. I lived nearby Star Park for a number of years, and you're right, you would just see families and just go there all the time.
Yeah.
So we've got just a few more minutes here on the show before we have to say goodbye and see you back out to the parks. Is there anything else you want to share with our audience?
Well, I think one thing that we didn't exactly talk about, which people are probably gonna want to know information on, is the pool. Like, when's it gonna open? What do we need to do to get our pass? You know, things like this. Are gonna be anything new at the pool? So last year we put in a climbing wall, and that was very exciting. The climbing wall will be back.
A climbing wall underwater?
No, it's actually above.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, we have the climbing wall, and so that's exciting. And so we'll have that, and then we also would encourage everyone to come and get your family pass or get your day pass. You can do that at the Parks Department, just like you can rent your shelters. So yeah, that would be something I would try to encourage people to jump on, and we're ready to go, get you your passes, things like that. So rates will not be going up this year. So you know, we'll also be booking pool parties around May 1st, and then summer employment. Like, summer employment's a big deal. If you're looking for a summer job, we've got one for you, and we have great fun summer jobs. JUCO, lifeguards, Middle Fork Reservoir bait shop, so they can help with the boat rentals, grounds maintenance, be outside, have fun, mow grass. Who wouldn't want to do these things?
Sounds like a great great summer.
We have all of these great fun summer employment jobs starting at $12 an hour, and you know, we can definitely work with people and flex their time. So
great. Well, on that note, I just want to say thank you, Denise, for joining us today here at the beautiful Glenn Miller Golf Course. And this has been Richmond Rising.